Yeah, we're live.
Oh, damn. Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the technical team giving you guys a little stream. Today, we've got Zach, Sib, and myself. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey,
Back at it again. Can't get rid of us. Who we got in the chat? We got 11 people. It's pretty good.
Nikki's here.
Nikki.
Nikki.
Wait, why? Wait, no rehearsals. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. It's like, this is suspicious. Okay. Good stuff. So I suppose what we might do is, this is just a small time slot to show you guys what we've been working on in terms of video design. And basically for this show, we have a character called Phi. Well, several digital characters, but we have a character called Phi who exists in their own little video box on our stream for our performance. And basically, we want this character to be animated for the duration of the performance. And to do that frame by frame would be very challenging and time consuming. So we're looking into this program called Touch Designer to attempt to recreate some of that animation algorithmically as opposed to drawing it frame by frame. Oh, let's see if we can change that.
not anymore. It's not.
Not anymore. It's not.
Speed.
Zach's on the case.
That's pure speed.
Hi,
Exactly.
Phil. Phil's here as well.
Phil. Hey, man.
Pull up.
How you going? Yeah, so basically, because this is kind of a new software for me, you know, looking into developing this, just been learning and trying to create like a minimum viable product for Phi at the moment. So I might take us through that and kind of what that looks like. And we'll, I guess we'll just see how we go. Yeah, so let's delve in here and Touch Designer. Touch Designer is a node-based like audio-visual kind of programming software. And you can see I have a little setup here for this product. Turn that on. So this is obviously our Getty images. And this is the version 0.0001 of what we're potentially starting to look at for our Phi character.
Very good.
Yeah, so this is basically, we have this video in the background, which is just a 2D kind of movie playing, giving us this kind of parallax effect, perspective effect. And we have a 3D sphere that's rotating and morphing based on some noise algorithms to my microphone input. So I might go over a little bit about how this is constructed. It's pretty simple at this point. If anyone is interested in getting into touch design and things like that, you'll come across this stuff pretty early on. You can make some very interesting things. So we're starting here with, let me just turn off this the blob for a second so you can see what's actually happening. So yeah, if we just look out for the chat, see if anyone has any questions, and I'll just run through this. So we start with an audio device in. So you'll see that these nodes here are green. That means that these nodes are channel data nodes. So the way Touch Designer works is there's several different types of node. If I just go over here and, well, of operators, there's tops, chops, sops, mats, stats, custom. There's a whole arrangement of different categories of nodes that you can choose from. And what we'll be using for this is a lot of SOPs, which are surface operators. So think geometry, 3D space, that kind of stuff. CHOPS is all channel data, and you can pretty much in Touch Designer convert any type of data to any other type of data. So you can create very interesting effects by tying certain parameters of one thing to the parameters of another thing. So you can take your webcam feed or something, and you can take all of the green pixels in your video feed, and then you can map that and make a polygon from the picked up green pixels in your feed. It's quite expensive. So we start with channel input here. This is my microphone that is being picked up here. We then run it through, this is a channel node called audio band. It's basically just an EQ. It's not the best. Some of the Touch Designer nodes are more useful than the others. But this one is basically an EQ. This is just to control wet and dry and the different frequencies. Right now, it's just passing through this without actually doing too much. But Zach, what would you say, like, human speaking frequency roughly would be like?
Usually you high pass stuff, so you cut anything below like 120, 150.
Yeah, so we can start to cut out these lower bands here to get a different type of signal, and already that's looking much better. So we have this analyze node here, which basically just spits out the number data of the audio band node. Run it through some math. So in this math node, I'm multiplying this analytical value by 10. And then I'm lagging it. So this node stores the previous node's data and spits it out after a certain amount of time. So I'm currently a lag value of 0.2. So that's a multiple. I'm then running it through another math node because my multiplication was not enough. And this is a brute force way of doing this just for this demonstration. Additional multiplication again. So I'm multiplying that entire signal chain by 120%. And then there's a null node over here, which is basically, null nodes are just like, you just pass through the node, but this allows me to program parameter inputs from this signal chain while being able to add to the signal chain. So if, for example, as you can see through this line here, I'm sending this channel data to this noise node, but I want to, for example, add another operator in the signal chain. I can do that without changing my routing over here with this null node. So the null node is basically the end of the signal chain. So if I wanted to, I could add just like another math node, for example, and I could input that in the signal chain. And then with this math node, I could pre-add a certain, oh, that looks interesting. I could pre-add like negative 3.71 to my value. And now you can see our sphere is interacting much differently because of we now have an output of negative 3.1 into our noise function. Yeah, so I'll just revert that. How's the chat looking?
Good. Yeah, it's not nerd. I can confirm it's not nerd. It's node. N-O-D-E.
Oh, sorry, Nikki. Node based, not nerd based. I imagine, you know, some people might call this a bit nerd based, but you know, I don't know what you expect. Like, yeah, I mean, we did
some tunes into it as well.
Yeah, I'll be able to get some music into it. I wonder how we would route that to the stream though. We'll come back to it. We'll see if we can get it working, because that would be awesome. Yeah, so if anyone's ever seen like on YouTube, like music videos that have reactive you know, reactive visuals or whatnot, they're using a similar thing where they're taking an amplitude of a sound, like a CV, and they're just mapping it to visual parameters for like any type of audio signal. So yeah, we get onto some of the blue nodes here, some surface operators. We start with just a simple sphere. So you can see it's just a sphere. The 3D space in touch is interesting. It's a little bit fiddly in comparison to, like, you know, your normal CAD software or running things through Blender or whatnot, but it kind of does the job. So we start with the sphere. Oh, is that
What was that?
is that Zach? We got music. Yeah, Nikki, like Windows, exactly. A player like that would do something very similar. I think I actually have something a little bit similar to show you guys later that looks a little bit more like the Windows MP3 player back in the day. Yeah, so sphere, shape, transform. So I've just made it smaller. You can't see it in this tile, but basically I've just shrunk the scale down by 1/4. The next node here is a noise node. So what this noise node is doing is it's taking the geometric values of this sphere. And as you can see, I'm translating the sphere on the Z axis by the, if we open this, by seconds, but well, I mean, so I'm rotating, but that doesn't really matter. What does matter is I'm mapping the amplitude of this noise function to my microphone. So this value that we've calculated here is getting mapped directly into this amplitude value over here, and thus moving activating the noise function in relation to the sphere. And then just like before, we have a null node to complete our signal chain for this portion of the file. Just save this.
We have 22 viewers right now.
22 viewers.
The most that we've had.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
we have over 50 followers now.
Oh, clip that. Finally, we're one step closer to Twitch affiliates.
Yes.
The logo was made in MS Paint.
Yeah, it's fair. Oh God.
Now the backgrounds, the banner.
Oh yes, definitely. That Is that? Oh, hi Isaac. No, everyone's here. All right.
Yeah,
yes.
right. Don't lie, Isaac. We know who you're here for.
Yeah, don't lie. So the next thing is, so all of what we've done so far is all visual on the user side. So these are all being displayed to us, but we haven't actually gone through any rendering processes yet. So I have a render node over here, and this render node is using a camera. So from the surface operator in 3D space, I am choosing where I want to render this image from. And then I'm also assigning a light source to it, which is, you know, similar to the camera. It's a position in space that affects how my computer is rendering this sphere. So you can see we have our alpha layer, and because of our light, our light is basically positioned exactly where our camera is. So we're getting a front on lighting of this sphere. The edges towards the back of the sphere are darker because of our lighting position. Should be able to change our lighting position maybe. So maybe we can translate our light on the x-axis by 10 and see what that looks like. Yeah, so now we can see that our light is over towards the right. We've translated that over to the right, and we get a different lighting on our image. I'll just reset that back to so that the light is where the camera is, because that's working well for our composite that we're doing. So I've just I've gotten a free Getty Images video at the moment, just to kind of proof of concept for our initial video design. It's just this video file here on a top node that loops. It's just a movie file in, and you can set the looping, the stepping size, the resolution, all of that in these types of nodes. And now that we've gone from channel data to surface operator data to top data, like top data, things that we're actually processing on our GPU, we can start to compile things and output them. So we have an adding node here, which is basically combining our render of our sphere with our movie file. And I just have it set to the fill overlay. So basically we're just setting the sphere to have an opacity to it. So that's why kind of you can see the video underneath the sphere. We can see how lovely Getty images. And I have this switch here, which shouldn't be doing anything. This was set up for class, but yeah, I have this switch slider, which is basically just tied to a value on this null channel data. And that is feeding into our switch index. So the problem is we only have one thing going into our switch right now. So normally I would have my webcam over here or something just to mess around with on Zoom. And I could switch between my webcam and this Touch Designer output. And then lastly, we have our NDI out node. And if anyone's been working on the digital season, or if you have spent time looking at virtual cams with NIDA, sorry, not with NIDA, just with like being in isolation and being on Zoom and whatnot, you may be familiar with NDI or virtual cams. This just allows us to output to other software by taking this video output and masking it as like a webcam input or something. So I can take this image and route it directly into Zoom, for example. Yeah, so that's the little minimum viable product that we set up initially, just to get a sense of what things could look like for Phi.
I think that looks fantastic, Daniel.
Thanks, Sid.
Does the number in the bottom left corner, does that have any significance, or is that just a number?
I'm pretty sure that's just ripped up from the Getty image video file. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. So that's kind of our first test. Some other tests that I'm currently working on is trying to algorithmically create this type of background so we can render it in 3D space and have it interact with our objects. So if you imagine all of these things as little objects or points and all of these lines connected to them, potentially rendering that with lighting or shadows and that kind of thing. So I will jump out of this project and stop processing that because my computer will die. And jump into, this is one of the background tests. And on this guy, we are just experimenting with rendering 2D shapes and having them move around in relation to one another. What informed my Bensley? What informed my decision on the design for my Getty image? Well, it was just the first free thing I found that looked cool. If you want to suggest something else, we can compile that as well.
You should use the banner. Use the Twitch banner image.
It's a stagnant image at the moment, right?
Good image.
I mean, we should be able to put anything we want into there, really. I'll see what else I have. Let's see. Yeah, the standard Touch Designer movie file is a banana. So it's pretty good, I'd say. It's the only reason why we picked the software, really, is just the banana. Just give me a moment to find some additional content.
Yeah, Daniel, delete the delete system 32 and it'll render quicker.
Oh, no worries. I didn't think of that. Thank you. Who
Install some
suggested that?
RAM.
Oh, that was Isaac, our Twitch Prime
Yeah,
subscriber. Thank you, Isaac.
install some RAM. It'll go faster.
Yeah, man. Of course. Incredible. Yeah. So we're just, for example, like I can just switch out this video file with any kind of file to, start to see what things might look like layered and whatnot. Oh. Can you guys still see that, or is my computer lagged out?
No, we still got you.
Yeah, great. Oh, incredible. Okay.
Oh, have we lost?
Oh no.
No, we still got it.
Oh, it's a struggle.
Yeah, it's struggling.
This is why we need the watch out machine.
Yeah, man.
That's why we need the media server. Yeah. This is also what happens when these Touch Designer files are not really optimized. I think one of the most powerful things about Touch Designer is you can pretty much choose where you want to process your information. So if a rendering is taking too much computer power, you can convert it to channel data and crunch the numbers in a different way, and then output your result again. Zach, is this actually just killing the stream? Is it? How many frames are we at?
I mean, we got some stutter from you.
From my webcam or everything?
No, I think it's just from your share.
Okay, lovely. 2 FPS, great, excellent. Oh dear. Well, that's good. Yeah, this is another thing that we were working on just briefly in terms of particle effects and whatnot.
What is the tech team's favorite fonts?
Do you have a favorite font, Sybilla?
Do I have a favorite font? Not really. I usually use Calibri. Not exciting at all. I know Isaac and Morgan use Sans Sophia or whatever it's called. Right?
Yeah, and look, Isaac did get me onto the Sophia Pro font. It's a good font.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's too iconic to Isaac. I couldn't use it.
Yeah.
Did Nikki just tell me to die because I use Calibri? Is that yeah, she is. That's what she's saying. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, look. I default to Calibri as well on the paperwork.
Yeah.
Just it's no messing around. You don't need to be dialing in fonts and doing all that.
What about you, Daniel? Do you use a specific font?
I don't know. I don't think I have a specific font, or I certainly don't know the name of one. Like on like a regular document, probably just like Calibri or something, you know, one of the standard guys that you get. Is that
exactly standard, so that you don't have to mess around wasting your time changing fonts and
yeah, I don't want to give someone a file and they can't read it because they don't have the font.
yeah.
I've always wanted to do one of those, like where you write your handwriting out and then you scan it and it turns it into a font. That could be fun.
Yeah.
That could be very fun. If you use Calibri / New Times Roman / Arial, you should reconsider being a stage manager.
Okay.
Okay. What about Century Gothic? New Century Gothic? Is that what it's called? I like that one too. That's a good one. Thank you, Phil. Calibri.
Calibri, yeah.
Ben. And Bensley uses Calibri.
Comic Sans, yeah. Look, it's
yeah, man. It's something.
It's something, yeah.
It's something. Arial black for headers is good, and Arial light for body. I can respect that. I can respect that.
If the cast see a schedule with Arial Calibri, they fall asleep. Well, that is, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
The master of French fries says, "What's our fave music?"
Fave music? That's such a hard question to answer. Also, who is the master of French?
Yeah, who that?
Who that? Do we know you? I thought I was the master.
Who that?
Who that?
Yeah, it's a hard one to answer. Look, I listen to a bit of everything.
Are there any genres you don't like, Zach?
Oh, first year scenic construction and technology. Party. Hey.
Oh, hello.
What's something I don't necessarily like? Look, I don't really listen to that much rap.
212 by Azalea Banks. You're right, Nikki. That is my favorite. I've been listening to a lot of Ariana Grande right now. Like a lot. And Mia Mai as well.
Of course.
And Sophie. Party. What about you, Daniel? What kind of music do you listen to?
I think I like Zach. I have a variety. But recently, like, I've been listening to a lot of like 80s like synth pop, like synth wave, you know, like Kung Fury kind of vibes. Yes. Anyone seen Kung Fury?
Daniel, you're just a sucker for synthesis.
Okay. You can give back the MIDI keyboard, thanks. No, I think it's fun. I mean, it's music you can like listen to in the background for sure.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying this video design work because you can actually listen to music while you design for video, as opposed to audio where it's just impossible.
Speaking of, it was amazing. Yesterday, I was on SoundSnap getting some sound effects, and literally halfway through, I probably downloaded about 20 different sounds. I think their website or their servers crashed. It was good. It was so sad.
It's that demand from all the Twitch Zoom shows.
It's from all of them. Yeah.
Trying to get everyone he knows to watch Kung Fury. Okay. I
know,
like Kung Fury. You don't like Kung Fury? Nah. I think I have convinced some people recently for Kung Fury, but I think it's just because I recently watched it again, and it's a masterpiece. Greatest thing ever created by Kickstarter, surely.
During P&I, Isaac. Yeah, man, totally. I'm just gonna play. Oh, this is very interactive. This one, this newest. Yeah. Throw it on the background. Throw it on the background.
Throw it on. Write that down, dude. No, trying to do some composite stuff. I think a lot of like learning the software is just playing around with certain things. So that's me mapping. Like,
oh hell yeah,
that's like a chroma key basically.
Yeah.
But I think it changes if I like hook it up differently. Depends on the type. So you can go like difference. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that looks cool.
That's a bit scary.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a time lapse of neurons.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like germs. Looks like germs.
Yeah, what a useful thing we've created here. Oh man. Yeah, well, that's kind of roughly what I wanted to go over in terms of like, it's very early days for the video design for Roundabout, but it's looking promising to have reactive animation as a significant portion of the show. And I guess the next step for us is to do some 3D models of some rigid bodies and throw them in Touch Designer again and start to see what we're capable of doing, like processing wise, in terms of rendering several of those entities, like that sphere we were showing earlier, bobbing around in a box and being reacting to text to speech and things of that nature. So it's kind of next step on our list.
Are we winding down here?
Maybe this is kind of like just as much as like I threw together quickly in this file to show you guys.
So what's the point of having 3 different like separate like things in there in the same file rather than, or are they like separate files?
They're technically one file, but these are base nodes. These are operator nodes. So what you can do is each node in Touch Designer like can be active or inactive. Like your computer can be processing it or not. So separating it like this, when we go out into our like, this is, you know, kind of our most outer shell of this particular program that we're running at the moment. I can just stop cooking this like 5 blobs. So I'm not processing any of this, like nothing is processing here. So this is just stored as like like number, like string data, as opposed to any of the functionality. Like you can see no data is moving between any of these lines here. So it just enables me to not open multiple files and string together several different ideas. And it's useful because what you can do is you can then transfer data from one base node to another base node. So if you output something from one of these projects, I can then take a specific parameter from that output and apply it to the interior of a different project. And there's a way to freeze nodes. So you can store like the last available information in a node without having to continually process that node. So if we wanted to use the position of that sphere, I could stop processing that and pause it, but still take the position and apply it to my my little floaty noise algorithm thing over here, for example, if I wanted to. So it's just a nifty way of getting past crashing your computer, I suppose.
Yeah.
Zach, we have a question from Isaac. What is your favorite model of condenser microphone?
All right. That is such a strange and specific question. Well, I'm looking for it now because I don't know where I put it. It's not on my table right now. Oh, it's over there. I have the Rode NT1, which is pretty good, which I like. But I don't know, man. There's some good ones out there. Like the SM7B, whilst not a condenser, is quite a good one that a lot of people like, that Daniel has.
Yeah, pretty popular one. Does the job very well. I don't know if my setup's doing it justice, but yeah.
Looks like a blender.
So right. Program. Yeah. It's a 3D modeling program.
Love.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to jump in Blender at some point and create some 3D objects to use as surface operators at some point. But we will get to that. Going to experiment with doing some 3D models of the like Greek symbols of alpha, omega, and phi, and go from there as an idea for what the character design might look like for our digital characters.
Totally.
Well, yeah, what they'll physically look like. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similar aspects to Blender in the 3D space. You just don't have the ability to easily manipulate the specifics of like geometry. It's more the software is good at like using algorithms to create basic shapes, circles, squares, rectangles, you know, any type of algorithm that you can come up with for a 3D object, I can implement. But if you want to crunch like straight data with a surface operator, it'd be better to I'm probably going to end up making things in Blender and just exporting them in.
Oh, someone's asking, can you do a voice imitation of the stove laughing?
A voice imitation of the stove laughing. Oh, is that because who asked that?
I think it might be Jess, I think.
Yeah.
Well, in the Google Drive, anyone from our company, that file exists. I just put them in this morning, but I'm not sure.
What does that one sound like?
Oh, it's thanks, Zach. Thanks to it's like ja 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 ja. Like it's like the like text to speech. Like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm pretty excited to have a stove just go like ja 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 ja. Like, it's gonna be great. Yeah, we have two smart appliance characters in the show, Chef Bush and Francis Bacon, and we've got some good interaction there already. Kind of, you can imagine two Amazon Alexas talking to each other. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what we planned for this stream. If anyone has any questions or anything, I'm, was still quite new to this software, but I'm happy to try and answer any questions that people might have.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So what's I know you have the full license. What's the difference between them all? Do you know?
It's the resolution output. So
nice.
you just get high resolution output with a license. You also have access to certain nodes like NDI, which is obviously vital for us at this stage.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can see with these operators here, even now, certain things are grayed out, but the license gives you the full range.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the big ones are the output resolution, and for our show in particular, NDI as a top.
Because if anyone playing along at home, you can Touch Designer is free for, I believe it's personal use.
Yep.
But yeah. What is NDI? NDI, I don't know what the actual thing stands for, but NDI is essentially a protocol of transferring video and sound over your network, usually used on a local area network.
Yeah, it's a network device interface.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, basically that will allow us to hopefully transfer video signals over our network so that we don't necessarily have to run cable between devices at the cost of a little bit of latency.
Yeah, it's done well for us so far.
Yeah. Oh, Quixel Megascans. It's a modeling thing. All right, let me look it up.
Looks strange with the lighting position that we've chosen. Got a donut now. Yeah, so maybe next week at some point we'll have a look at where we're currently at in terms of the where we're at in Touch Designer for our Phi and whatnot character.
Yeah, totally. All
Zach,
right.
can you run fiber from my house to NIDA? Consider it.
Yeah, man. We'll plug the fiber straight into your computer. That's we'll get the fiber to USB adapter.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
3D models.
Master of Franchise. It's actually pretty good, this Quixel.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a look at that. Oh, see ya. Good luck on risk assessment. I was there. Good luck.
God, are these? I'd love to know if these are actual physical scans of things. These look crazy. Daniel, I can send you over the link after this. These are crazy.
Yeah, no, certainly. Will do.
Yeah. Yes, Isaac, you can. Yeah. We can shine the light from the optic fiber into your wall. That's how it works, I think. Geez, our team, we just must love streaming. We're just
we love it.
Not sticking to this half hour.
Yeah. Well, we can jump on. I mean, that's kind of most of what I have for today.
Yeah.
Yeah, up to you guys how long we stay. We do have a meeting at 3 p.m. p.m. No.
Yeah.
So maybe it's best to start to say goodbye for now.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back soon enough. We are doing this every day, almost every day. Can Pox do a pick of a string? Says Isaac. No.
Yeah. Isaac's gonna be our #1 fan.
Yeah, the Twitch Prime. That's how you can tell. That's how you can tell.
All right then.
Yeah, cool. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We're with Luca tomorrow from the props department to touch base with how he's going.
Yeah.
And the cast on Thursday.
Very exciting.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks everyone.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
See you guys. Have a good one.